YouTube, what's going on? How are my peeps today? Alright. So I'm going to talk about this album here called Snowman, Obsessive Creatures. This was recorded in 2005-2006. I'm not really sure when it was released. Has it open like this? But I think it was released in 2006. This is a limited edition album. I got copy 76 out of 123. These are all hand-pressed little albums. Snowman is a London-based Irish quartet led by a composer slash painter artist named Sand. He goes by the name Sand. And the music these guys make is just instrumental, progressive, experimental, ambient folk music. Some people online were calling it acid folk. The music here reminds me a lot on if you're listening to a black metal album. And sometimes you'll get these little like acoustic, kind of very soft ambient, you know, interludes on it. So this is pretty much just a whole album of it. The song is 4 songs long and has 41 minutes of music on it. It's all instrumental. It's got a lot of finger-picked acoustic guitars, and some websites were listing all the instruments they have on here. There's a huge list. It included, like, you know, piano, xylophone, flutes, percussions, electric sitars, and then the more traditional, like, you know, electric guitar, bass, and then also like treated sounds, accidental sounds. They have like the sound of wind on here, like organ drones and bells and all kinds of shit. Did I already say xylophone? It went on, but they just make this very kind of classical tinged, very creepy, kind of gothic feeling, ambient, you know, folk music, or acid folk as it's being called on the line. These guys are getting compared a lot to like the music Richard Bishop makes or Jack Rose makes, and then these a couple other bands I've never really heard of, but they were getting compared to like Bass Communion, Steven Wilson. They've actually recorded some music and played live with the Steven Wilson guy, No Sound and No Man. They have a handful of albums. I'm going to post a link to their MySpace so you can check these guys out, because it's actually pretty cool, dark, little atmospheric music. I've got a bag stuck to my elbow. But yeah, it's got a whole bunch of like dark freakouts and ambient stretches and shit like that. Some of the songs on here were released on a previous EP called Moth Dream. And they do incorporate vocals on their later albums and stuff. They'll have like female vocals and male vocals even later on. They've been releasing material since 2006, so this must be one of their early releases. These are all handmade, like I said, so I'd imagine these are some of Sand's paintings. Maybe that's a self-portrait, I don't know. I saw a picture of him and he looks kind of like a gloomy guy. But yeah, I really enjoyed this album. There's not really much to pick on. I'm a big fan of this kind of experimental music with uses like accidental sound and treated sound. I'm a big fan of, like, you know, sitar noises and stuff. This music, like I said, is very atmospheric. It's mostly just a slow tempo, but they do pick up the tempo in a few tracks, and it gives it kind of a proggy sound, mainly due to like the use of flutes and stuff like that, and like folk music. Not a lot of metal on this at all. It is very much so like I said, like some people are calling it minimal, but it's totally like psychedelic progressive folk music though, and very much so in an instrumental vein. And yeah, I can't really find anything wrong with it. The last song maybe is a little too friendly for me. It has a little bit of a bluesy kind of, like, you know, having a little jog in the forest. If you're like a little hobbit kind of feel, but the rest of the album is pretty awesome. I really enjoy it. I remember one winter last year, I was sick. I had a cold or like a flu or some sort of disease, and I was taking a hot bath, and I just had, like, you know, just putting this music on, having in the pitch black bathroom and just some candles lit and stuff, and it was a pretty good atmosphere for that. It was very enjoyable. Kind of sounds like chamber music. Yeah, post a link to their MySpace. Snowman, London-based Irish quartet led by a guy who calls himself Sand. This is their Obsessive Creatures album, released on Time Lag Records, I think around 2006, could be 2007, I'm not really sure when I picked this up. But yeah, limited edition. I got this in a record store. I didn't pay an exorbitant fee online. I just got this for, like, you know, the usual 18 bucks or whatever. But yeah, check it out. Peace.